You owe this man $500.
That was my angle, Maurice.
Next thing you know, I'm sending out a cash app.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Putback on SNY.TV. I'm Ian Begley with Maurice Peebles, editor-in-chief of SNY.TV.
Yeah, let's just get into the baseline. I'm not sure if you heard this, but the Brooklyn Nets hired a coach. Soccer analyst Steve Nash is apparently going to be the new head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, looking at a 4-year deal. Very interesting, if you ask me. I'm curious to what you've heard on your side.
The top item for the Nets here was finding somebody who could coach Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, finding the best fit for those two, because if you get those two to buy into the coach, to get behind the coach, everything else falls in line. And we know that Nash has a relationship with Kevin Durant after working with Durant during his time as a consultant with the Warriors. He also has a relationship with Kyrie Irving. I was told by some people around Kyrie that he really respects and appreciates coaches who have played the game at a high level. Now, you can't find a coach who has played the game at a higher level than Steve Nash, especially at that point guard position. So to me, that's a positive when you talk about the potential Kyrie and Steve Nash relationship.
Our guest this week is Queens native and veteran center Kyle O'Quinn, who spent 3 seasons with the Knicks from 2015 to 2018.
I've always said it. I said it when he first got the job. I seen him actually in Philly, and I said, you'll do great things. And I know he will because of his personality, his demeanor, and just how he is charismatic with the players. You know, I've never been represented by him or any of his agents, but for him simply to just speak every time he saw me, you know, it was never a recruiting pitch. It was just always just a genuine hello, here, how you doing, this, that, and the third. Take care of this guy for me. You know, I think that would go, you know, through the organization pretty well, and he has the personality to get through the guys.
Wait a minute, so he asked you to take care of Carmelo?
No, but Frank Ntilikina. You know, when Frank was there, you know, he was a young player, you know, and you know, me and Frank, we connected very, very soon. You know, Frank had a very good connection with his mom, and I saw that. Everybody knows I love my mom tremendously. So, you know, you get a kid from overseas and he comes to New York City for the first time. You know, I just gravitated to him, and I guess maybe the word got back to Leon, and then Leon kind of, you know, hey, I appreciate you type talk, and then, you know, it's always been good since then. So I think that Leon has a good charismatic thing about him, and I think that a guy like Frank, you know, I'm sure will benefit.
Is New York a destination right now? Like, I know Kevin Durant said it's not cool and all this other stuff, but I'm curious, the free agents still look at the Garden as the Garden.
I have no bad things to say about New York, and it was one of the, truly, genuinely one of the best times of my life. You know, I think the word, the team, New York Knicks, will always get attention, you know, because you play in the best place ever, period. And I just think that, you know, guys look at their career and they question, you know, can I get it done there? You know, can I succeed there? And I think that's the biggest thing. I think New York will always be in the discussion. I think it's when you have a free agent target, simply because New York is New York, it's a situation where, you know, okay, I can blueprint off this. Well, this coach, I know I could play for that coach, and this, that, and the third. I don't think that, you know, New York will get the respect it deserves in free agency from these big players until, you know, those kind of things happen. And I mean, you guys have a good coach now, you know, in Thibodeau, highly decorated and well respected. So I'm sure that's the first step in the right direction. And front office management has always really been good, but you know, those big dogs, that's the kind of things they talk about.
Life.
I'm too close to home not to get
Good. No. Whoa. Anytime Matisse is around, you gotta kind of be like, yeah.
Most of us know you as a basketball player, but I'm guessing there are also a lot of people who know you as the star of Matisse Thybulle's Welcome to the Bubble series. I was always curious internally, what was the real reaction to him filming everything? I mean, I'm sure there was some standoffishness. I'm curious to what it took for him to win over enough people to be able to do that.
Well, we knew he was a camera guy. He took pictures. Me and him had plenty of conversations about just pictures, cameras, and equipment and stuff. And he had some real deal stuff. I mean, up to the level of the social media team. To see him with a camera wasn't too far-fetched. I think it was tough, like the first day when we got back, when he had the camera out the whole time. You also got to think, guys been sitting at home for 3 months. You know, you wouldn't mind a little camera on you here or there, you know, talking a little crap with your fellas on the plane, you know. So we kind of got used to it, you know, and everybody was excited to be next to each other, talk to each other. I don't think I've ever been that excited to see Tobias Harris. You know what I mean? Who's my personal friend, you know? But it was just good to see him, hello, give him a hug, and blah, blah, blah. Then you see people in the bubble, you know, kind of gravitating to him with the camera, you know. Russell Westbrook comes over, has the camera out, and he kind of just goes, yo, what's up? I don't care if we got the camera rolling. And then we just have our little thing and we just talk crap to each other, this, that, and the third. Mind you, Russell Westbrook is a really, really good dude. Don't judge a book by its cover. So I will say I learned that in the bubble.
You challenge people to educate themselves so they can feel comfortable where you've been, what you've gone through. I think even for myself, educating myself, I have a different perspective considering I didn't grow up with the challenges that other African Americans may have.
What else do you think can be done by the league or by everyone as a partnership to create tangible change?
I think that my biggest thing is, everybody being on the same page of change needs to happen. When you sit down and you talk to coaches and general managers and it gets relayed to the ownership and people way above us, everybody being on the same page of change is the first thing I would say. Nothing happens if everybody doesn't agree. My biggest thing, what we talked about as the 76ers, in order to make change, you got to provide opportunity and you have to commit to the opportunity that you're willing to give people, young African Americans, young college graduates, and things like that. And that comes with all shapes, colors, and sizes. In order for change to happen, it has to start with the people that are actually out here, trying to learn something to help the world. And older people, they're probably stuck in their ways. I hate to say it, but, the youth is taking a heed to what's going on, and ultimately they can shape the world and we can shape the world. And with that being said, that's the kind of change I'm talking about as far as opportunities and financial commitments from these big corporations to help the people at the bottom to work their way up the pole.
The Knicks have been a pretty young team the last couple seasons, but there's been a surprising lack of player development despite how young they are. So I'm interested to hear what's going to be different about this season with all of these player development coaches we're bringing on. What's in store for our rookies and our young players?
Caitlin, I don't know yet exactly what's going to be different here, but based on who the Knicks have hired and Kenny Payne and Johnny Bryant, they've spent a lot of money on two coaches with exceptional track records when it comes to player development. But it seems like every time the Knicks hire a coach, the talk is all about player development, but the end result is we don't see that player development on the court. Charlie Ward's the last Knick rookie to sign a second contract with this team. So that just tells you all you need to know about where they've been with player development. One player in particular I'm keeping an eye on is Dennis Smith Jr. because I know that Tom Thibodeau was a big fan of Smith Jr.'s when he was coming out of NC State. Clearly, it's a focus with this group.
And this is a bit of a deep cut, but you used to tweet only abbreviations. It was a big thing on Knicks Twitter, man, and there are some folks internally that are very curious about what those meant and what was the motivation behind them. So please enlighten the folks.
So they were just simply getting my thoughts out there. Some were positive, some were negative. Some was cursing you out, and you didn't even know it. It was just, it was really me putting my feeling at the time out through acronyms, and it was like, it eased me because, like, say if I put the most negative one I ever put out, just say I don't know what it was, just to see people trying to, decipher them would make me smile and it'd be fun, So it kind of like ease off my frustration, Every day as a professional basketball player is not great, but I think that was an easy way for me to be engaged with the fans and with Twitter and social media and all that. And it was really, really fun, really fun. Then I put the little wager out. I'll give $500 to anybody who gets it right. Anyone over 5 letters. They all meant something. And you really would have to be me to know exactly what they were being said. Of course, you never know what I was going through, but you can gauge it like after a bad game. It may be a little more negative than a Sunday with dinner with my family. And I actually did one in Philly this year. And it blew up so quick and it was so bad. I was like, I got to quit. So I just stopped doing them altogether.
You would curse out the media in acronyms on Twitter, but you also cursed me out in public. So I was getting it at both ends.
That's probably why I like you now, because you took it you took it from me as a true friend. I didn't come from a bad place, but I still like you maybe because of that.
Can I say one acronym? Because I think I figured out one of them. CWYCC. You remember that one?
Yep, control what you can control.
Yes, yeah, that's positive. I like that one.
You owe this man $500.
No, I gave people that one. I always told people you can't use that one because I gave people that one.
All right. That was my angle, Maurice.
Next thing you know, I'm sending out a cash app.
Well, that's it for this week, everybody. For Maurice Peebles, Kyle O'Quinn, I'm Ian Begley, and we will see you on the Putback next Wednesday.